It is flashlight time again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 4Sevens Preon 2 in the Satin Titanium. Hope you like it. Now many people have pretty much dubbed this 4Sevens Preon 2 flashlight as the perfect EDC or everyday carry light. And they've done that for good reason. It's got a great form factor. It's extremely lightweight. This one in particular in the Satin Titanium version. And I'm running AAA batteries, the lithium batteries, so it's going to be a little bit lighter, but it's running about, I think, 1.6 ounces. Yeah, about 1.6 ounces. Maybe a little heavier if you put your standard AAA alkalines in there, but not by much. But one of the really cool things about the Preon 2 is that it just has some great regulation and puts out some maximum output. This little flashlight right here will knock out 160 lumens, and that's with the R5 LED from Cree. That's pretty cool considering that most pin lights don't even put out half of that amount of light. There's a few others that have come out that are similar in output, but none of them have really topped this one, so it's pretty exciting. Now a lot of people have done reviews on this flashlight, so I'm not going to go over all of the details or all of the specs, but what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about what I like about this light and also what I dislike. But I'm also going to throw in some indoor and outdoor beam shots comparing the beam profile on this light to the Phoenix E15, and you can go ahead and skip to that portion of the review, which is at the end. I'll put the time right here. But what I really like about this light is I like that it has a light orange peel reflector. The beam profile is extremely clean. No halos, no artifacts. Just a great floody beam. There's no artifacts at all. It's just a really clean beam. The outside or the inside, the hot spot, the outer ring. It's just really clean, really smooth. This particular Satin Titanium is just a great color. It looks really classy. The pocket clip is a kind of a chromed out stainless steel, and it just looks really good in pocket. This is something that you can carry and kind of, it almost feels like a cross pin to me. You know when you get a really good high quality pin and you start carrying that around, you almost feel proud to own it, and that's pretty much what I feel about this flashlight. Now I told you the maximum output was 160 lumens, but the fact is, with these small AAA batteries, you're really not going to see very good runtime since it is maximized for the highest amount of output possible. So you're looking at maybe between a half hour to 45 minutes on your standard AAA primary batteries on high. You might be able to get a little bit longer with your lithium batteries, but those lithium AAA batteries are pretty expensive even if you order them online, so definitely keep that in mind. But that's one of the trade-offs you have when you go with a AAA battery cell in a flashlight. You know, you could choose something like this Phoenix E15 that's going with a CR123A battery, which has a much larger capacity, so it's going to keep maximum brightness. Even though this is a one cell, you're going to get similar brightness with this, but much longer runtime. But that's one of the downsides to using AAA batteries, but the form factor on this isn't anything like the form factor on the Preon 2. So keep that in mind if you're looking for an EDC light. Now one thing that I did notice off the bat is that the threads aren't very smooth. They're pretty gritty, and I bought this one brand new, so you might want to clean them up and re-lube them, re-grease them. That's something that I never noticed with other Preon 2 versions, so I think it's pretty much because of the Satin Titanium finish, if I had to take a guess on why that is. I also noticed that the writing on this titanium finish, the satin, it's not very clear where it says 4Sevens Preon. It almost looks distorted and kind of cheaply done. I don't think that it was cheaply done. It's just the fact of the material of the body just changed the way that they put that writing on there. So just keep that in mind. But overall, I really like this light. There are a few downsides, but I think you're getting a good selection of modes because you do have a low, medium, and high. The low is 2.2 lumens, which is really a great general task mode when you're in complete darkness. The medium is 22 lumens, and you're going to see that 22 lumens you're going to get about 6 hours of runtime with that. On the low mode, you're going to see almost a full day, around 23 hours. And that's measured with alkaline batteries, but give or take, you might see a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on the light and the batteries. Now, as far as the operation on this flashlight, it's pretty standard. You've got a push button tail cap. It is not momentary on, so you have to hold and push and release the switch to turn it on. But you can cycle through the modes by just tapping the tail cap. Low, that's medium right there. And then high, keep cycling, low, medium, high. Or you can actually turn it off and then just keep turning it off and on. So that's low, medium, high. You do have some hidden modes, basically some special modes. You've got your strobe, SOS, beacon high and beacon low, and the way you access those is you have to cycle through twice all of the modes. So you go, then you got your strobe. So you cycle through those modes like that. You start off, you got low, medium, high, and then you go to strobe. It does not memorize modes, so when you turn it off, you go back to your standard low when you turn it back on, which it doesn't really bother me. That's just kind of a feature of this light that you kind of just get used to, because this isn't by any means going to be a tactical light. This is a general use light. It doesn't have a whole lot of throw, but it's going to illuminate an entire area really, really well. Now, one thing that I have noticed with these Preon 2s, and it might just be me and maybe not everyone else, but is the way that this switch is designed. Another Preon that I had an issue where the button, when you pushed it, it had somehow gotten bent after being dropped possibly, or just being used for a long time. So I would click it sometimes and the button would get stuck, so it wouldn't turn on or turn off, which is pretty much an annoyance. I had contacted 4Sevens about it, and they pretty much told me I had to send the light back to them and they'd check it out, which I'm sure they would have taken care of me. But they also sell the buttons on their website, 4sevens.com, the switches, and you can just get a whole new assembly back here for like $5, I think, on the general Preon 2 models. But that's one thing to keep in mind. You do want to keep this clean because it does come apart. You take this ring off right here and you pull the plastic portion off, this little part of the switch right here, the button, and then you got a rubber cover over the actual switch. So you can take it apart. I would recommend that you take it apart, clean it periodically, and lube it up. And you definitely do not want to drop this in this area back here, because if it bends even slightly, then it's going to get this button stuck like it did for me. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But this one out of the box, brand new, felt really good, and I've been using it about a week, so I haven't had any issues with it. It's pretty smooth, and the operation is really smooth with it. But I just wanted to point that out, that the way the flashlight is designed, you do have to keep this cleaned up inside of there. You don't want to drop it in the dirt or on the ground, or you could mess it up possibly. Now that's pretty much my overall overview of the light. Overall, I think it's great. I really like, as I said, this design, the Satin Titanium. It's really classy. I do think it's a little bit expensive. I think you would be probably almost as happy with maybe a black version or another color, but people like different things. So basically I just wanted to show you this version of the Preon 2, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some outdoor and also indoor beam shots, so stay tuned. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at some indoor beam shots of the Preon 2. This is the R5 version, the Satin Titanium body. Let's go ahead and jump on high. Now as you can see, it's extremely bright, very floody light. This light is just really all about flood. It does have some decent throw. This is about a 40-foot hallway from where I am to the wall back there, and it does reach the wall. Now just for fun, let's go ahead and throw out the Phoenix E15 on high. There's a Phoenix E15 on high. You can tell between the Preon 2 and this one has more throw and a lot less spill, less of a floodlight. Let's go ahead and throw them out together. You got the Preon 2 on top, E15 on bottom. Kind of see the difference. Preon 2 looks to be a heck of a lot brighter, honestly. It's possibly just because of the way the beams are designed, but they're definitely different. So now let's move into the outdoor beam shots portion of the review. Alright, so let's take a look at some outdoor beam shots. This is the Preon 2 R5 version on high. We're looking at 50 feet right here. It's not going to throw that much further than that, so I just wanted to demonstrate how well it illuminates an entire area. It's got a really nice clean beam. And just for fun, let's take a look at the Phoenix E15 on high. There you go. You can tell it seems to be a little bit less bright as far as lighting the entire area up, but it does have more throw. So now let's do a comparison side by side. We got the Preon 2 on the left, R5, the E15 on the right. And again, as you can see, they have definitely have some different beam profiles. We're looking at about 50 feet here. So there you have it. That concludes the review of the Preon 2. Hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.